Hello everyone and welcome back to the Chassis Variant series, myself Critical Rocket, and here we are with the last of the Dervish models that you can actually make in the game anyway, as there aren't many Dervish variants, only one of them, and it doesn't have the right weapons anyway. This is the 8D. The 8D was a later Civil War design that utilised quad ER medium lasers. With the loss of the SRMs and the arms, this model upgrades the LRM-10s to 15s with Artemis fire control. So this gives it a much more focused playstyle, with higher missile damage potentially, but you have a slower reload obviously for the 15s being fired, and the quad ER mediums are a tad hot, I have to admit. But overall it's a very streamlined design, even by Dervish standards, so it's very simple, straightforward, easy to get used to. Hardpoint wise, it actually is a middle ground. It has 2 energy in each arm and 2 missile in each side torso, which means you can increase the amount of firepower significantly, but it's also good for people who want to use this as an LRM mech because the higher mounted torso missile hardpoints will be better than the arm-mounted missile hardpoints, which would, take into account the terrain. You don't have to as much. So if you do want to use this with, say, quad LRM-5 instead, for rapid fire with some bigger energy weapons and backup instead, you can do. So this is kind of the middle ground design, whereas I think it's the 6MR was more energy focused and the 7D was more toward missiles. This one is definitely for people who want to have something that's a bit more on the balance side. Personally, this is probably my least favourite out of them from a stock weapons loadout perspective. The SRMs and the streaks on the other models are pretty good, to be honest. They're a nice backup. The rate of fire from the SRM2s and the Streak 2s are fast enough that you can always guarantee that you're doing some kind of damage, and the heat isn't too high, so if you do start to get overheat on the red line with the laser weapons, you can at least keep firing something at a target. The quad ER mediums on this are just a little too hot, and I don't really know if the slight extended range is worth the payoff. I'm not sure if this would probably work better with just 4 standard medium lasers with the 2 LRM-15s. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. The cat's looking at all the birds outside and getting really excited because she wants to eat them. Anyway. So overall, I don't mind this model. This one would probably benefit from actually being tweaked, to be honest, at least from MechWarrior Online standards, as it does suffer a little bit. The LRM-15s are welcome though. They're a much more improved sort of damage potential there, and the Artemis isn't a bad thing to sniff at. Overall, I think if this is what PGI have said it's going to be, the last mech pack for a while, I don't think this was a bad one to really end it on for the time being. And if things were as bleak as were made out, if this were, for instance, to be the last mech in MechWarrior Online, I also don't think it was a bad one to go out on, though there are many mechs that could have been, and sadly should have been, had Harmony Gold not been sticking their oar in. Of course, we could have had great things like the Wasp, the Stinger, the Valkyrie, and the Crusader added into the game, although I'm not sure why PGI never really did just go and make their own versions of them, to be honest. If you want to make money, the classics were the best ones, and the Unseens definitely. It was cool that they did a bunch of the Unseens. It's been fun running around with things like the Marauder and the Warhammer, and obviously I was most surprised about the Phoenix Hawk. I didn't think that thing was going to pop up as it did, but yeah, it was cool to see. It was cool to see those come in. It's just a shame they never sort of continued the trend and just did all of the Unseens. That goes for some of the clan ones as well, because we do have things like the Stone Rhino, which I think would have been very popular. If you want to talk about money-making mech packs, Stone Rhino or Behemoth would have been the best for the clan side of things, and it would have helped with that 100-ton spot for the clans, which does struggle, to be honest. There aren't a lot of 100-ton clan mechs, and the Behemoth is definitely one of the best out there, visually and weapon-wise. It's very, very good mech, and it's fondly remembered because it was in one of the previous games. It's cool that they did something like this, like the Dervish. It's nice to have seen that. It would have been cool to have seen some of the other sort of lesser known mediums, or lesser fondly remembered ones, the Clint, the Whitworth, the Hermes 2. Those would have been nice to have seen added at some point. Maybe they will, I don't know. It's all a bit of a grey area now with PGI, because we don't know what's going to happen. MechWarrior 5 is yet to release. If everything goes well, it will be a big success. It will be I guess considered like an indie hit, and maybe that'll give them the cash that they can continue making more mech packs. I know Russ hasn't said it's a definite that they're not doing anymore, but it sounded kind of like if we are going to get a mech pack this year now, it will be much later on in the year, and it'll just be the one mech. And it might go down to a vote. Maybe that'll be a better system. Maybe getting people excited about what it is they want to buy, and if they know the mech that people will vote for, it might, you know, actually make a profit for them instead. So hopefully that'll be happening for them. Maybe if they do a vote that's like one clan, one inner sphere, keep it simple like that. You know, maybe give a choice of 4 or 5 different mechs, see what people go for. And I mean, Hebe sounds like she approves of that idea. And hell, if Hebe likes it, she's screaming about it now. See, they haven't good old. Yeah, which one? Which one do you want, Hebe? No, she just squeaks. She can't make her mind up. So, yeah. So this could be the last sort of new mech chassis variant vid for a while. Obviously, I'll go back to older ones, so you know, next week, and back to what I was doing, getting through those mechs that can't be built. This won't. The Dervish won't see any others because there's only one other, and that uses MML5s, which just stands for Multiple Missile Launcher 5. Yes, I know, Hebe. I'm telling them that. Okay. Okay. I think she's happy with the information that's been provided. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching. Yes, Hebe, I'm telling them that. Have a good week, all. I'll see you next time for some more chassis variant vids, some more random gameplay videos, different mechs as we go along with the 55-ton category. Hope you have a good week, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.